Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We're going to wait a few more moments while all the attendees join the webinar, and we'll start shortly. Okay, we'll get started now. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for attending our webinar to learn about the new features in ODT Rentals version 14. My name is Darren Christofferson. I've been with Open Door for 20 years and working in rentals for the majority of that, and working with Business Central apps and extensions for much of that as well. Our agenda today will include the following items: extended text for rental units and sales lines on rental documents, rental date fields on rental document headers that flow to and update rental lines. We've improved the inventory transfer to rental function, and we've improved the copy rental unit function, and we've also added a new rental document creation wizard. So let's get started. First things first, extended text. So this is standard Business Central functionality for items and resources. You can add extended text to those. We've enhanced this to include rental groups, rental units, and rental packages. And then you would add the extended text onto rental documents the same way you would a sales document or a purchase document. So let's show you that. Standard Business Central with our Rentals app installed. If I go into rental units and navigate down to a rental unit card, I can see under the related action, we have extended texts. I've already set up extended text on this group header. This is a Boss Stitch framing nailer, and I've added some technical details about the manufacturer and the part number in the extended text. Oh, and I should show that there's a rental section down at the bottom that enables this particular extended text to be included onto rental quotes or rental contracts. If I disable either of these and you try and invoke that action, nothing will happen. And I'll show you the action here right now. I'm going to go into rental quotes, create a new rental quote. And my favorite company, I will add that rental group. I'm going to say I'm going to use 2 of them. And now under this, under the ellipsis on the actual unit number, there's insert extended text action there. And it's also on the manage line, the option to insert extended text. So you can see that I've got, let's select a couple of units. Okay. And now if I insert an extended text, you can see that it drops into comment lines for the lines that I added. And as I said, if I had disabled rental quote and invoked this action, it wouldn't have included them. So you can define which types of documents you want the extended text to be added to. And if we print it now, we'll see that the extended text is shown underneath the normal description. We have our manufacturer and our part number. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Just a reminder that you can add it on the individual units if you want, but if you add it at the group heading, then it'll be available to units. You can also add it on rental packages. And that is extended text for rentals in a nutshell. Next piece we're going to look at is the rental header date fields. So we've added 4 fields that, when populated, will transfer to the lines when you create a new line. Or if lines already exist and you update these fields in the header, it will prompt you to update the lines, prompt you if you want to update the lines that are applicable. Obviously, there's certain things that will be restricted. For example, if you've already invoiced, then you won't be able to change the billing start date after you've already invoiced. So, certain things will be validated and only will it update the lines if it is applicable. Okay, so let's show that. I have enabled these fields. So first thing I should mention is that these are not mandatory whatsoever. They're actually only available if you personalize and add them through the personalization actions. I've already done that in my profile on rental contracts. You'll notice when we were looking at the quote, these fields didn't exist. They're available there, but I just haven't personalized that page yet. But I personalized the contract page because I want to show how this works on a contract. So I'm going to add our Adatum Corporation, and we're going to set the start date to be, what's our work date? 4/8, so let's change that to be 4/10. We'll say we're going to start this a couple of days from now. And if I come into the lines now and add our framing nailer, you'll see that the start date and billing start date have both been updated to 4/10. Start date and billing start date have both been updated to 4/10. So it automatically aligns the billing start date to the start date based on, that's just your standard functionality. Let's see if I can, okay. All right, so I can add, let's go back to that, make that a 0 again. We're going to update the lines. We're going to say this is for 2 lines. And I'm going to just show that if I change the return date, let's change that to 06/12. It'll prompt me to update the lines. I'm going to say yes, and it's going to update the rental return date and sync the billing date with it. That's standard stuff, right? Should be noted, you don't have to use these all or any of them. They're completely independent. And as you noticed, when you update them, it'll prompt you if you want to change the values on the lines. And I should still note that any edits done directly on the lines can override that as well. Okay, everything changed. Right? So modifications done directly on the lines will override what's been defaulted from the header. And that's basically it. Again, this is available on the rental contract and the rental quote. You just have to add the fields for personalization. Okay, so that was the rental date fields. Now, inventory transfer to rental. Okay, so we've enhanced this page to include dimensions, which will come from the item that you're transferring and can be overridden on the transfer page. We have the option to use the FA number series if creating, when creating the fixed asset. If you don't want the rental unit and the fixed asset numbers to match, then we can set it up to use the FA number series. We can add a depreciation start date because we know if when we add that fixed asset, it's going to ask us to acquire it. And we're going to set up some depreciation settings as well in the journal, in the template. And then we have the option to sync dimensions from this page to RU, the rental unit. And we also have the options to sync the rental unit dimensions to the fixed asset. So these, again, are mutually exclusive. You don't have to do both or any of them. But if you don't sync dimensions from this page to rental unit, the rental unit could get dimensions from its group that it's assigned to. And that is set up on the item. So if the group has dimensions and you add a child to the group, it will inherit the dimensions from the group. And this is a way to sync the rental unit dimensions to the fixed asset as well, if you want. And then finally, the last thing is to show journals and post manually. So this is allows you to actually see the journals for the fixed asset GL journal and the item journal, and if necessary, make adjustments. Okay, so let's jump into that. I'm going to show you rentals again, and I'm going to go into an item that I've already set up. So if I go to my role center, I've got the item list in here, and I created a new We're going to look at our Bostage framing nailer item. Now we've got 28 in stock. We've set up allow rental transfer. We've set up a default fixed asset template to use and a rental unit group to put those new rental units into. When we invoke inventory transfer to rental, it's going to come up with our previously used entries. I'm going to change the department code to rentals, change from east to west. I'm going to use the regular number series for that group. And I'm going to sync the dimensions. Let's set depreciation start date to 410. And I'm not going to show journals and post manually, but if you do this, you basically just have to go in there and modify if you need to and then post it manually. But it's a regular FAGL journal and an item journal. So there's nothing earth-shattering about that. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, our quantity is now 26, so we've dropped 2. If we go over into our rental units, we can see in the rental unit group, we can see we've got 2 new units in the west location and 2 fixed assets assigned to them. If we look at the related dimensions, we should see we have area 70, which is North America, and department is rentals, which was copied over. And now if we go to the fixed asset, we should see those same dimensions on the fixed asset, rentals and 70, what we expected. Okay, and there's the link, the rental unit number from the fixed asset. Oh, yes, and depreciation start date was set to 410. And in my fixed asset template, which I'll show you right now, this is standard templates, and we've included a fixed asset template for rentals. And you can see that I have a related template for fixed asset depreciations. If I went into that one, we'll see that I've set this up as the number of depreciation years equals 2. So that's also a bit of a new feature, is the ability to specify the depreciation start date and then using the standard template functionality to find how long you want the depreciation to last. Okay, so that is inventory transfer to rentals. The next item is copy rental unit. A lot of the same types of enhancements were included in this. The option to use FA number series, the sync rental unit dimensions of fixed asset, the depreciation start date, and the copy extended text. So let's jump into that. Okay, we're going to go back into the one we copied. Now we've got 2 new ones, 8 and 9, both in West for 2 new fixed assets. If we went into related dimensions, oh, it didn't copy the dimensions. Okay. Okay, so we've gone to our framing nailer group. I'm going to make copies of the last one that we just added using inventory transfer to rentals. On the home menu, we have copy rental unit. Also on the rental, somewhere else in here, there's related. Maybe not. Okay. So on the home menu, we have copy rental unit. In this case, I'm going to create copy of 2, and we're going to set it to 008. I'm going to create a fixed asset using the template FA9999. I'm going to use my FA number series. I'm going to sync dimensions from rental unit to fixed asset, but I need to make sure I copy dimensions from the existing rental unit to the new rental unit in order for this to do anything. Okay, so because this particular rental unit doesn't have any extended text, this is not going to do anything, but if there was extended text on here, I could elect to copy it as well. And that's one of the new features that was added. Okay, so here's my 2 units, both going into West. I'm going to create those. And now if I go back into my group, I can see I've got 2 new units, 8 and 9 were added, and 2 new fixed assets, 200 and 210. If I look at rental related default dimensions, it's copied the rentals in 70 over. If we go to the fixed asset, it's copied the fixed asset dimensions as well, rentals in North America. And we can see that the depreciation start date has come over based on 2 years, based off of the depreciation template that I showed earlier. So that is copy rental unit. Okay. The last thing I'm going to show today is the document creation wizard. Okay, so this is just a simple way to create a document, be it contract or quote, easily. And this is probably the most simplest scenario that somebody would have. So if they're not a terribly difficult, complex rental contract, this is a way to include that easily. So I'm going to go back into my role center, and on one of the other role centers that we've created for rentals, ODT Rental Contract Processor, we've included it in their role center as one of the actions that's available off of the role center. As soon as this opens, now you could add this to any role center you want just by searching for it and adding it. So you can see we've got here this rental document creation wizard. I'm going to invoke that. Let's get started. And first I define what type of document I want to create. I specify which type of, or which customer I want to use. Actually, let's use customer 10,000 because I know they have a alternate shipping address. We're going to ship it to Park Road. I'm going to set the order date to be the 10th, and optional rental term. I can include a rental term I want, and this is setting the rental term in the header of the document, and then it'll try and default all the lines to that, but it's optional. I don't have to do that. Okay, so I can select it if I want. I'm not going to because I like to go all over the place when I add units. So we'll add one of those units. Click add. We're going to go in, we're going to add one of our framing nailers that I've just included in the west location. Okay. And maybe we should add one more unit that is a delivery charge, admin charge. Nope, I didn't do quantity. Let's just do one. Thank you. Add. All right. Now clicking the create button creates the document and prompts you, do you want to go there? Yes, I do. Rental quote 00004 has been created. And we'll see that it was for the company I selected. My 3 rental units are on here. And because I didn't select the term code in the header, it just used the default term for each unit. And then on the shipping tab, we'll see that it's selected the alternate shipping address of Park Road, and everything's ready to go. So now, if all this looks good, I'm going to send it off to the customer. The customer approves it. I'm going to make contract from here and then be able to process the rental normally. So there's my contract, and I'm going to ship. Boom. There we go. Okay, so that is the document creation wizard. Now, a few things that we have coming in future releases. We're going to add trade-ins probably in the fall 2025 edition. The ship to options to include location, that'll be coming within the next few months. Credit card deposits and payments for rentals, that'll be coming in the next few months. Substitution list for rentals, that'll be coming in spring 2025. GPS integration, probably fall 2025, and a few other things that are on our to-do list that are be major features added to rentals in the coming weeks and months. The last thing is, thank you very much for attending. That concludes our presentation today. If you have any questions about this update, please email us at hi@opendoorerp.com, and we will reply with an answer for you as soon as possible. Thank you for attending our webinar. Have a good day, everyone.